So my name is Darcelina, and so today we are going to talk about self-care for families, for parents, for families as a whole. And any of the things that we discussed today, you as an individual can do, but you can also do them with your family. So it's not just for you, but it's for your family too.
And here's our brief agenda for the workshop. We'll talk a little bit about what stress does to us as individuals and what it can do to our families as a whole. We'll talk about some effective stress reducers and some short practices that we can use. Even if you only have 5, 10, or 15 minutes to de-stress. 5 minutes doesn't sound like a lot, but we'll talk about some easy things you can do in short periods of time. Parents' lives are obviously stressful to begin with all the different things that you guys are juggling. And now with school buildings being closed, add homeschooling to that list of things to stress out about and keep you busy. So it piles on, and it's a lot that we're all working through on a day-to-day basis. Stress can build up kind of like a pressure cooker, and you might not notice things as they're piling up, and then all of a sudden we have this explosion that we didn't see coming, and we thought we were doing okay, and that's just kind of what happens sometimes. And it can also be hard to maintain a work-life balance when you're working from home, teaching your kids from home, and also trying to de-stress at home. So it's a really difficult balance to try to get to and maintain. So we'll talk a little bit about what stress does to us and our bodies. So clearly when we're really mad and having arguments and fighting with people, our communication skills are probably not as spot on as they would be if we were more calm and more rational about things. But it also, stress has negative impacts to our physical health as well. Think about feeling fatigued. Some health problems can be definitely linked to higher stress levels, and generally just feeling exhausted because our schedules are all jam-packed at the moment. And then other mental health issues like being confused about relationships or roles within families, both immediate family, extended family. Trying to navigate those relationships is a lot more difficult when we're stressed out. And it can seem easy or feel easy to lean on maybe some unhealthier coping skills that feel easier, whether it's food, alcohol, or some other kind of substance use. When you're stressed out all the time, you can be more likely to go back to those things. And there is a resource link there for more information also. Between the pandemic, the polarizing political issues, peaceful protests from the traumatic loss of George Floyd, and scenes of violence and death across our nation from COVID-19, and the fight for racial injustice, or the fight for racial justice, all of these things going on at the same time. With all of these stressful things happening simultaneously, it can make our family, who we are, and our stress levels look different from person to person as we're all dealing with these things in different ways. And so keeping that in mind, that there's no one size fits all solution to stress or the way we react to stress. So here are some good reasons why we should de-stress. It can lower our heart rate, can help prevent disease. It is definitely a real thing. De-stressing can help us feel better, obviously. It can increase our immunity. It can help us make decisions from a clearer headspace. And hopefully it can help us improve our relationships and improve our positive communication with the people we care about. So here are some different types of stress reducers. We broke them down into kind of 2 categories. The first being changing your channel. This is a way you can take your mind off of things and kind of take a mental break for a quick minute. And you can use this when you need a quick break and you're feeling kind of stressed but not super high anxiety yet. And then the mind and body engagement techniques that we'll talk about are things you can use when you are really overwhelmed, very anxious, high anxiety, high emotions. And sometimes it can feel like you're kind of short circuiting, like your brain isn't working as well or as quickly as it normally does. And so the first thing we'll talk about, a little science that some people may or may not have heard of, is the vagus nerve. And this little diagram just shows that the vagus nerve extends throughout our entire body, essentially. And this is what we're talking about when we say that there's a bigger payoff for the mind and body engagement exercises that we'll talk about. When we stimulate the vagus nerve, we can send a message to our body that it's time to relax and de-stress, which leads to long-term improvements in mood, well-being, and resilience. And for me, increasing my vagal tone and doing these practices has helped me overcome some of my own anxieties and things that I'm prone to panic about. And it also helps me, when I remember to do these practices, it helps me better manage myself and my emotions when I get to the overwhelmed place. And doctors have started doing vagus nerve stimulation to treat resistant depression since 2005. So this science is definitely new to a lot of people, but it has been around for a little while. It's not totally brand new and not studied.
My head hurts, my body's anxious, I'm really stressed, overwhelmed, exhausted, and I don't know what to do. Does that sound familiar? Stick around. I'm going to show you the vagus nerve reset exercise that helps your nervous system relax into a more calmful, peaceful, and regulated full state of being. Okay, Susan's our model today, and she's lying down with her knees bent, which you can do, or you can straighten them out, whichever's more comfortable for you. In a moment, she's going to interlace her fingers and put them behind her head. If you have any problems with a shoulder or a numbness tingling in your hand, Susan, actually go ahead and go into the position. So you're interlacing your fingers and you're putting them behind the base of your head. If you have a shoulder that doesn't tolerate this, no problem. You can just do it with one hand behind your back and put the one that needs to rest down at the side. If both shoulders can't tolerate it, again, no problem. Just have both of them down. The last thing I'll say is if you want, you can put a pillow here. So go ahead and put your hands behind your head and you can prop it so that the arm doesn't go all the way back flat. If it doesn't tolerate full range of motion back in this position, you can prop one or both of them as much or as little as you need to. So take a moment to settle into the table and arrive wherever you are. Take a moment to bring your attention and awareness to the presence of your hands behind the base of your head where your neck and skull meet. This is the position you will maintain. The exercise is the most simple exercise you've ever done. All you need to do is move your eyes to your 3 o'clock or in the direction of your 3 o'clock, whatever's most comfortable. So Susan, go ahead and move your eyes. And then all you're going to do is wait for a yawn, a swallow, or a sigh. For some people, that can take 10 seconds. For some people, it can take 2 or 3 minutes. Depends on how stressed your nervous system is. It doesn't matter. It's not a reflection of your character. It's just data. So it'll take however long it takes for your system to experience one of those 3 relaxation responses. That's the exercise. It is that simple. It's not always that easy. But you can do 1 time like she just did. You can do 2 times. You can do 3 times. Like brushing your teeth, it's a great exercise to do twice a day, but you can also do it more. Specifically, you can bring it into more functional positions. So this is the most effective to start and to get comfortable and used to your nervous system relaxing and settling down. But once you've mastered it here, you can do it in sitting and you can do it in standing. I have people that have car accident history and they're really stressed when they get into the car. So after they've mastered it here, when they get into the car, before they turn on the car, they're doing their vagus nerve reset to relax their system so that they can drive the car in a more relaxed way. So that's a really strategic application of getting intentional with relaxing your nervous system before you go into stressful things. You can also do it after stressful events to calm and settle your nervous system down. Another quick example is a patient of mine who used this before a boardroom meeting that he was really apprehensive about. He got to the meeting boardroom an hour before anybody else, and he did a few 6 rounds of this, and he said he felt the most confident and comfortable going into that meeting than he ever had before. So it's a great way to help yourself think more clearly, feel more comfortable in your body, and when those things are in place, whose life isn't better? So if this video helped you, please share it because somebody else might benefit from hearing it. And if you like the video, subscribe to the channel because there's so many more goodies there. I wish you a green tree day, physiology, mind, body, and all the things that are well in your world to come true today. Have a good one.
Okay, so now we'll talk about some stress relieving tips that we can do with different time limitations. So if you only have 5 minutes, some examples of channel changers that we can do or practice to kind of get our mind off of things is any kind of movement that makes you smile, whether that's dancing or just acting silly or whatever it is that gets your body moving and makes you smile. And I think as adults, sometimes it's hard to recognize when we also need to take a time out. So something I've started practicing is giving myself pauses or giving myself extra space when I know I'm stressed out and need to calm down. And that seems to be working well for me when I remember to do it. And for some mind and body engagers we can do in 5 minutes, breathing, slow, deep breathing is something that's well researched and shown to activate the vagus nerve and decrease our stress response and calm us down. Humans typically take 10 to 20 breaths per minute. And if we can slow our breathing down to 4.5 to 6 breaths per minute, that's when we can activate the vagus nerve and send that message from our brain to our body to calm down. And the video we just watched about engaging the vagus nerve, we can do that in 5 minutes. And essential oils are another thing we included because although research is somewhat limited, small studies do suggest that aromatherapy can be beneficial. And if you just think about smelling whatever your favorite smell is, it might help lift your mood a little bit and make you smile. And they can also help people feel better by easing nausea symptoms. They can soothe sore muscles and promote relaxation at the end of a stressful day. Okay, we'll move on to our 10-minute examples. If you have 10 minutes to calm yourself down when you're stressed, some things that help me get my mind off of things is just taking a walk around the block or even just walking around in my backyard can be helpful. And I feel like it helps me both get my mind off of things and engage my mind and my body together. So that one was kind of a both and. I also like to put Post-it notes or other kinds of written affirmations around my house and places that I see it frequently, just as little reminders of whatever the mantra or affirmation is that helps me kind of regulate myself. Music is on here also. I found that making a playlist of music that makes me happy and feel good was really helpful to have even in one earbud while I'm out doing things that are stressful during the day. And some more physical examples that take about 10 minutes, jumping rope, hula hoops, jumping jacks, sit-ups, push-ups, whatever it is to kind of get your mind and body engaged and get your mind off of what's stressing you out. And more of the mind body engager side of things for 10 minutes, prayer and meditation and mindfulness practices while practicing slow breathing can be very helpful. And if yoga and stretching is something that's comfortable for you, there's lots of videos online. If you don't know the poses or anything like that, there's lots of free resources on the internet. And here are some ideas you can use if you have 15 minutes or more. And we broke the 15-minute slide up into 2 different slides because we thought of a lot more ideas that take longer. So these are the channel changers ones to get your mind off of things. Any kind of crafts activities, like using old magazines to make collages, or looking up a craft idea you have online and seeing if there's easy instructions. I really enjoy adult coloring books, and I found there's a lot of free printouts you can find if you just search for it on Google or Pinterest or any of those kind of apps. And really anything that you enjoy doing that inspires your creativity or imagination and helps you kind of access that other part of your brain that we forget about when we're really stressed out. And obviously spending time as a family, again, whatever it is you have time for, whether that's a movie night or a game night, cooking a fun and easy recipe together, maybe choosing it together and making it more of a group family activity. I also like running through the sprinkler to kind of reset my mind if I'm really freaking out. And playtime, cuddle time with kids or animals if you guys have pets. Video games can be a helpful thing in short intervals or whatever time intervals works for you. And reading, whether it's books or poems or short stories or, again, whatever you have time and enjoy doing to help you de-stress. And these are the mind-body engagers ideas that we came up with. If you have 15 minutes or more, you could do yoga or stretching, dancing for longer periods of time, and just moving however feels good and right and makes you happy. Meditation, prayer, deep breathing, or guided breathing or guided meditations. Acupuncture and pressure points. So EFT tapping, EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Technique, and it's a holistic healing technique that combines modern psychology with Chinese acupuncture. And there's a free app and a link to find that we'll include at the end of these slides that we'll send to you guys. But the focus is, or the main idea is to focus on a negative or a difficult emotion that you're feeling, and then use your fingertips to tap 5 to 7 times on 9 different meridian points on your body while you think about and focus on that difficult emotion or feeling or situation or whatever it happens to be. And really any exercise or physical movement that works for you and that's comfortable, whether that's taking a longer walk or running or hiking or riding a bike, just whatever's comfortable and gets you moving.
And we hope that you have a really good evening. And we look forward to connecting with you again soon.
Yeah, and thank you for tuning in.